Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. It is a very magnificent Monday. Hopefully, you had a magnificent weekend. We are rapidly approaching earnings season. I believe we should start to get financial earnings towards the end of this week. So that will be coming really quickly. As far as things that are going on the calendar this week, we get a few things, not a whole lot. We'll get some import export stuff tomorrow, as well as the balance of trade. People always kind of keep an eye on that, and then not a whole lot. Like we'll get the typical stuff Wednesday, Fed talks, FOMC minutes also Wednesday. So, but it won't be till Thursday where we'll get CPI. Yes, get CPI. That will be the number for September. So we'll see what that comes in at. And obviously Thursday we'll also get the initial jobless claims. And then Friday we will get the PPI number as well. So we will get some inflation data towards the end of the week. And we should also, let me just check real quick. JP Morgan Chase will typically be among those to start getting earnings. Yeah, we'll start to get some financial earnings towards the end of the week. JP Morgan Chase there on Friday. So it means like Citigroup and I think Bank of America also start to have earnings towards the end of the week. So anyways, just keep a mind that we will start to get into earnings season as this week goes on. As far as how things are going today, we had a nice little gap down this morning, about 0.25% to start the week. All right, there you go. Nothing crazy. You can see we've kind of just traded sideways for the most part on the day. That's just kind of how we were doing right now. Currently down about 0.4%. The Qs, a little bit more moving here on the day. It did gap down roughly 0.4%, a little bit more than a little bit of a sell down there, a little bit of a rip, but hasn't really moved too much from open. Obviously, you can see a little bit of a sell down there coming right now. IWM, nice move down today. Nice little gap down here, about 0.25% gap down there on the IWM, but you can see the sell downs have been much more aggressive than the buy up. So he sold down pretty strong there first 30 minutes, nice little 15-20 minute bounce, and then we've been rolling over here the past 45 minutes or so. All right, DIA, nice little gap down, sold down, nice rally, nice sell down, currently down about 0.4%. RSP also gap down pretty good. Definitely nice sideways action here for the first hour or so. Nice little roll down here past 30 minutes. So that's kind of how things look today. Yeah, you definitely have a major line in the sand right here below these wicks that were kind of put in. Kind of going back to September 25th and October 3rd. Big reason why if we get below those levels, because we would be below the 20 moving average, 20 EMA there on the daily, on the RSP, and getting below those wicks. So if we get below those, yes, not good. We're gonna have a pretty good pocket to move down to that, at least that 50 EMA there on the RSP. DIA doesn't look as bad, right? DIA doesn't look as bad, even though it's pulling back a little bit. It could just be bouncing here off the 10 EMA. RSP, a little bit breaking there of the 10 EMA, could also bounce by the end of the day. IWM is breaking below that 10 and 20 with that gap down, move lower. Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good move lower there towards the end of September, last third of September. So maybe that is just a quick bounce that we had. Obviously, it was just a one-day bounce, really, on Friday with that huge gap up. So it could have just been a quick bounce. We also just kind of eyeballing this quick little, possible, retesting the upper ends of this downtrend. Yeah, quite possibly. So obviously, that's now that you start to form multiple connections with that, people are really going to start to watch that. So if we can keep that, keep an eye on that downtrending line. If we break above that, you might see IWM going a little bit of a rip there. Qs looks like it's more kind of consolidating, even though it's gap down. we haven't got really hit all that hard across a lot of these markets, even though we did gap down today. We haven't got to hit aggressively hard. Qs look like consolidating right above that 10 EMA. So unless we roll over and get below that 10 EMA today, I'd imagine we start to push higher here as we go into the rest of the week. That'd just be the way I look at it. Same thing here for the SPY. SPY's not as weak as the RSP, but if we do see some bullishness come in here over the next few days, I mean, it's going to be real easy for the SPY to get back to all-time highs. I mean, we don't have far to go. So that's kind of a quick rundown through the markets. VIX with that higher open on Monday, typical. That is very typical. But yeah, it's just very interesting spot here for the VIX to kind of open at, just right above the highs of last week. Wow. So I don't know. Could we see a little bit of a pull down maybe as the market goes bullish kind of here in the next few days as we go in the later parts of the week? That's very possible. Very possible. I mean, if we go bullish here for like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then, or maybe even Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe the SPY hits all-time highs, and maybe we get CPI data, PPI data Thursday, Friday, maybe come back down. Maybe we'll see the VIX just kind of slowly retest into the moving averages as they come up, and then maybe we'll see the VIX kind of push higher. I don't know, something like that. We'll see how it goes. DIA, the DXY dollar index, nice, kind of just hanging out today, trying to make up its mind of what it's going to do. It did come to kind of a resistance area, so makes sense that maybe it's just going to hang out, wait to figure out what it's doing. As far as the intraday look, yeah, not really giving us clear direction. Tried to break down early this morning and then just kind of based out. Looks like it's trying to move higher here recently. So maybe we do move higher here by the end of the day, and that would set up pretty nicely to continue higher. Which at that point in time, then, man, I don't know. Maybe you're moving up to this 100 moving average, which would be a little about the 103.3 level. Which that's not a bad little trade move there. So that could definitely happen because we're not exactly pulling back. So if we do sell down a little bit more, it's going to depend on the close today. If we come back down, I would expect we're going to retest lower and then move higher. If we kind of end towards the highs of the day, or maybe even the highs of Friday, then maybe we just move higher to that 103.3 level. GLD Gold Trust. Look at this pennant pattern, man. Look at this pennant pattern over the past 2 weeks. Looks really, really good up here. I'd just continue to be bullish on any kind of dips, consolidations, that kind of stuff. 10-year yield did break this high back from August 8th. It's basically sitting right on top of that high, that wick. We have not held over that high yet for the end of the day. So yields moved pretty strong. Late last week, see if that definitely continues this week. This 4% level is a very important level, so yeah. 10 and 2 inversion. 10 and 2 inversion. Basically, just retested the zero line. So we had the breakout a couple weeks back. Over the past week and a half, we've basically just pulled back and have now retested right into that zero line. It took us a little while to get through there. Now we've clearly got through there. Is this just a retest? And now we go higher on the yield curves. Quite possible we're going to get inflation data later this week. That'll be a big one. We'll also get the Fed minutes there Wednesday afternoon. So that will be a big determinant by the end of the week of, are we going to come back and be inverted again, or are we going to continue on the uninverted path higher? Be interesting. HYG, high yield corporate bonds, pretty solid spot to not be bearish. If it wants to continue to move lower, let it move lower. But this is a pretty good top spot that we were kind of eyeballing, the 79.4 level. Yeah, I'd say, hey, you know what? I'll wait on the next look on any kind of possible setups here. But yeah, I mean, it's sitting right on top of these highs. I mean, it's a pretty good spot to just say, hey, you know what? I'll wait. It might move down to the 50 MA, but you know what? I wouldn't want to be a part of that because it could definitely just because right we broke out higher here back at the kind of middle point of September. This could just be a retest into the into the spot, and then we move higher. So if we do that, I mean, you're not going to see the 50 EMA. So it's just like you just want to take your bearish trade off for now. If you did get into this bearish, I think right now you're just kind of wait and see. You'd also be saying, hey, you know what? I do like that idea of this was a breakout. This was a pullback. I do want to be bullish on these tops. You could be looking to be bullish. And it's a pretty simple trade. It's like, hey, you know what? You put your stop loss down here below this low. And then you kind of see how it goes here for the next couple of days. If we come down and we break this 50 EMA, most likely we're going to move down to that low. And you could probably just say, yeah, you know what? I'll just cut it loose there. Anyways, just an idea. LQD continuing to move lower makes perfect sense. Kind of talked about that last week as we kind of just hung out right below that 50 EMA on that gap down on Friday. So not surprised we're moving lower, but I think we are going to be moving to like 111. Obviously, it's going to be really close. And then we also are going to have like this high. Will these two levels kind of hold and we'll see it bounce there? We might have like a short-term bounce because we're continuing to move like rapidly lower. So we might see us get down to like this 111 to 110.6 level. Maybe see us bounce and then maybe see us continue lower to the 100 moving average. Something like that. Yeah, that's not shocked we're moving lower. As far as TLT, we basically just got to that level that we were kind of looking for if we broke that 50 MA, which we did middle part of last week. There we go. I would be definitely not bullish or bearish. You could maybe say bullish as we broke higher. We came back. We just retested. So we're basically retesting in a lot of these highs that we've had, and also in the moving averages. So you could probably looking to be bullish. You know, obviously have a stop loss maybe back down below this low from July, and then if we get through like some of these levels, maybe even start to break this one down, you can say, hey, you know, I'm not going to take the full loss. I'm just going to cut it loose. But yeah, pretty good spot to at least take bearish trades off on some of these bonds. There you go. Bonds have moved bearish pretty good here recently. As far as sector rotation for the day, we are seeing energy's doing pretty good. There you go, continuing last week's dominance. Healthcare also outperforming pretty good. Tech doing pretty well. Industrials doing pretty good today. Materials underperforming. Communications as well. Financials underperforming. Staples underperforming. Real estate underperforming. Lower end of the day, utilities and discretionaries. As far as how the intraday price action is going, we got industrials, tech, energies, healthcare, real estate all outperforming. Energy, real estate's kind of an interesting one. Yields doing okay today. Materials slightly underperforming, kind of in line with the market there. Discretionary is underperforming. Communications, financials, staples, utilities, kind of all at the lower end intraday. All right, let's see what's going on. If you got anything, let me know. We can take a look at it. What do we got? So yeah, we got inflation. Earnings season going to kick off. Lucid beats quarterly deliveries estimate. Are they still publicly traded? Lucid? They are still publicly traded. No, you couldn't tell if they beat. They beat on earnings, but I mean, part of it's, you know, they beat quarterly deliveries estimates but they had to discount to boost demand. So it's like, yeah, we increased our sales, but we didn't make as much per vehicles because we had to cut prices. Honestly, this is the better way to go. You want to get sales going. You don't want to worry about profits. You want to make sure you can get product out there. And they probably have subscription type services to various different things that you use in cars, kind of like Tesla does. So like self-driving stuff like that. So I'd imagine they probably have other ways to kind of bring in money off of selling cars, and that's probably the most important thing is get cars out there so you can continue to bring in cash flow off of subscription services that you sell in cars. I'm not a big proponent of that. I'm just saying that's kind of how a lot of these electric cars are made money off of nowadays. Well, investors stay the course ahead of the election. Yeah, I don't see any reason to not continue to. I mean, I wouldn't be massively out of the market, but I would continue to kind of get out of certain areas that have done very well over the past several years. Corporate bonds gain an edge over stocks as Fed cuts, which is very interesting because we just looked at bonds and they've had pretty good pullbacks here. So, key U.S. yield hits 4% for first time since August. Yeah, we just kind of looked at that. And it's sitting right on top of 4%. You know, that 10-year yield is right on it. Let me just do this real quick. Actually, let me take a look at. Oh, bounced in a little bit there on yields. Oh, never mind. I think I was thinking of something else. Anyways, 2-year is sitting just below 4%. I mean, just below it. It did get above 4% very briefly today. There you go. Okay. And then 30-year. 30 years steamrolling higher, man. Look at that thing. 4.3%. Whew. That is a move, sir. That is a move. Let me check something here on the yield curve. So I want to see how the 1 year, the 10 and 1 is doing. 10 and 1, kind of flat. Looking like it wants to move higher there on the 10 and 1. All right. I haven't looked at this in a little while. I'm gonna look at CME Fed Watch Tool. See how what the rate expectations are. So our current level, wow, the market is now expecting a higher chance of a hold for November. So, wow, a month ago we were at like 30%. We dropped down to a week ago we were at 0%, and then on Friday we were at like 2.5% chance of a hold. Now we're back up to like the mid-teen area chance of a hold. And that's kind of coming on the back of Jerome Powell making a statement late last week, or some statements last week about, yeah, don't expect us to rapidly be cutting rates. Essentially is what he said. So, yeah. So if we're not getting a rate cut in November, I mean, the market's fully expecting a rate cut December. But it looks like the market is expecting a 50 basis point cut by December's meeting. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see what we get. Oil rallies as traders await Israel's response to Iran strike. Stellantis files new suit against United Auto Workers Union. Ooh. Costco's gold bars fly off shelves as prices break records. That's concerning. Now that you're starting to see your average person buy gold, I guess that kind of stinks. Not gonna lie, that kind of stinks. That means I don't know. Typically, when you really start to see news reports and retail people, reports like this, headlines like this, that, people are buying gold. And that kind of typically means the whatever movement you've seen, like gold, might have limited to no upside at that point in time. So yeah, seeing that headline for people are buying gold bars from Costco, kind of a bummer. I'm gonna have to change my tone on gold. I still think it looks pretty good, and we might just be set in for more medium term, maybe rest. Arcadium Lithium stock surges on Rio Tinto, 3 billion takeover talks. Oil turns higher. Yeah. Oh, all right. Not a lot of a lot of big time news out there. So Amazon up down 2.5%. I just hit AMD. So AMD is down 0.85%. Okay. But Amazon, oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that island reversal, kind of. Not a perfect one, but yeah, nice gap up. Doji gap back down. Broke Thursday's low today. Ooh, Amazon, that looks dangerous. Ugh. Let me see where the long terms are at. Oof. Well, I mean, if we do break down, which kind of seems like we probably will, we don't have far to move to some pretty solid levels like the 200 moving average, which we bounced off there back in August. And also, this is a pretty major support and resistance level around 178 or so. 178, 179. NVIDIA. Oof, look at how good that looks. Man, that looks so good. Man, if this is going to be like the longest rest ever for NVIDIA, not longest rest ever, but since it's been moving over the past 2 years, I mean, this is probably going to be the longest. Well, oh man, I don't know. This might be the longest rest. I mean, this is still pretty bullish this time period. We had a pretty good rest second half of 2023. But man, look at that, looks so solid. Yeah. I just don't know how far that thing has left to run. ACGL, CB, Chubb. Chubb is down 3.5%. Oof, that's a brutal day. What is this? Rost? What is that? Oh, Ross Stores. I think they changed their ticker. It didn't used to be Rost. But they've been getting shredded over the past week and a half. Down 2.75%. Wow. Yeah, basically ever since their huge gap up on earnings, they have gotten absolutely annihilated. Good grief. They crushed it, too. What is APD? Up 8%. APD. APD looking pretty good. Air products and chemicals. Okay. After activist investor Markel Ridge bought over $1 billion in stock. Oh, they had a huge investor come in. Yeah, huge investor came in. Activist investor. I always hate to see activist investor because that means you're about to see a lot of infighting at the company, and not always. It doesn't always go great. PFE. Pfizer Nice little gap up there on Pfizer. Okay. Huge doji, though. Booking.com, booking.yeah is up 1.6%. I just like saying that. That's all. Target is having a pretty rough day. What is going on here? Target down 2.6%. Okay. Well, that's about all I got. If you guys don't got anything, I don't got anything. We've seen the market bounce a little bit. A little bit over the past 25 minutes or so. Yeah, I don't have anything major. There's not a lot kind of going on. Typically at the end of quarters, very beginning. But we are about to get back into earnings season. That'll start later this week. So Tuesday, Wednesday might be a little dead. Wednesday afternoon might pick up a little bit because we'll get the FOMC minutes. And then also people will start putting in positions for CPI Thursday morning. So we'll start to see some things kind of pick up. But honestly, I think all today was just kind of a quick retest lower, as we had a pretty strong gap up there on Friday. I'd be looking somewhat bullish here for the next 2 days. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we're going up like 3%, but take the little wins when you can get them. I have no reason why we'll drop off there Tuesday, Wednesday, unless something unexpected happens. Alpha hunters, have a great rest of your day, and take care.